So, hello everybody on YouTube. As you guys know, I'm always doing these videos alone in the woods and all these places, but I'm in wonderful Austin, Texas, and a wonderful group of people, which you can't see, but everybody say hi.
Hi.
Isn't that amazing? We're doing this presentation, guys. I'm going to do a quick video on the timing of the Exodus. I have obviously a series of messages on this. What we're doing is we're gathering, we're blowing the trumpet, we're gathering around the Lamb, okay? So, it doesn't matter what tribe, this is all about the Lamb. It's the Lamb who is coming, and that is how we're assembling. So, in the series message, you've seen us talk about this, and just like in the first Exodus, we have this moving tabernacle of the children of Israel in the wilderness, and we're leaving Egypt. So we've left Egypt. There's a numbering of the people. We are in our tents. We are assembling. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the timing of the Exodus. So common question is, Leland, how do we know the timing of the Exodus? How do we know this? Well, in this particular piece, we're going to talk about the timing of the Exodus. We're going to talk about how we know this timing through the prophecies listed in the book of Esther, as you know. Okay, so this is the main thing right here of what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the order of the throne with the living creatures, and we have the creature with the face of a lion. We have one with the face of the ox, one with the face of man, one with the face of eagle. Okay, and there are trumpets that are blown for the tribes to assemble. All right, first trumpet sound is east. Other two trumpet sound is south. All right, so we are assembling in the order of the tribes around the Lamb, just like in the Exodus. Okay, and we are ordering by tribes. All tribes, lots of different beliefs, lots of different people doing lots of different things, but we appear to be doing everything but talking about the Lamb, talking about being following the Lamb, following in the order and pattern of this Exodus. Okay, so you have seen me on my journeys. I was in Egypt. I passed through the Red Sea, and you saw me in Jordan. You probably know how I got into the U.S., and we're going to have another video, guys, where we're going to talk about how the U.S. is also the promised land in the memorial stones. It's going to be another video after this one, and what are we doing? You saw me. I was in Jordan. I could have taken a bus to Israel and said, this is the promised land, we're taking it, but I'm sent here. And why? This is also the promised land. So the promised land is wherever you are, okay? But there are particular things. Obviously, 75% of my audience is U.S. So what is it? Why are we still here? We don't have to go to Israel. The Lord said, don't go to, when you say, oh, the Lord is here, the Lord is there, don't go. Why? Stay. Where you are is the promised land, all right? So we're assembling. We're assembling around these order. 12 tribes, same pattern. We talk about the story over and over, but it's going to actually happen. It's happening now, and we're in the midst of it. So as we look at this, we have this order of the throne right here. Okay, and you guys know this. We've been talking about this a lot, but what we have, and I hope that everybody that sees this really shares it. I'm going to try and make it quick and simple. But what we have is a chariot of the cherubim. It's a little sideways. I apologize for that. But this is Ezekiel chapter 1. In Ezekiel chapter 1, Ezekiel sees these angels standing. And what we have is we have a particular order and structure of these angels. They're angels standing, cherubim standing, and they have their wings pointed up like this in positions of 4. And they have 4 faces: lion, ox, man, eagle. In the center of the wings, at the top of the wings, is his throne. And Ezekiel sees this throne, okay? And then next to them, next to each standing living creature, so we're bird's eye view, we're looking down, we have wheels within the wheels, right? We have the wheels within the wheels in Ezekiel chapter 1. So this is a throne. Ezekiel describes this throne as he sees it and it comes down to the earth. So it's moving. It's a throne that can move. Why? Because it has wheels, okay? So it's the Lord's chariot. And there's this verse in Habakkuk 3. It says, Yeshua's salvation, the chariot of salvation. the chariot of Yeshua. And this is him. He's coming. The Son of Man is going to come in the clouds. And he's coming according to this order. All right, so when he sits on his throne and we assemble, we come into this order. Now, for time's sake, I'm just going to describe this quickly to you. But the Ark of the Covenant has two cherubim on it. All right, it has two cherubim as you have a box, right? You got a box, and there's a cherubim on one side. There's a cherubim on another. Okay, it says clearly their wings touch. Okay, their wings touch. So you got two cherubim. Then there's a box. So the Ark of the Covenant is a seat. So the Lord's, chair is there. Okay. Then what happens in the first temple? Solomon makes two more cherubim. Okay, and these cherubim form the completion of this structure. Okay, so like here you can see one cherubim, and you got the wings coming, touching. And then when it comes to the first temple, they make two more cherubim, and these cherubim have their wings touch as well, forming this pattern of his throne. Okay, so this is why we are assembling, because they're blowing the trumpet for assembly, for the camps. Okay, that's what we're doing. Now, as we go to look at the timing of this, all right, as we go to look at the timing, guys, let's talk a little bit about Esther. Okay, in the book of Esther, all right, Esther is prepared for the king. She's prepared for the king. It takes 1 year of preparation, 6 months of myrrh and 6 months of sweet odors. All right. Without getting into all this, because we go over this many, many times, but what I want you to realize is that this cycle of Esther's preparation, you can see it happened according to certain signs. It happens. These solar eclipses, okay? There were solar eclipses. The solar eclipse over the U.S., okay, in August 2017. Oh, all excitement. What does it mean? Well, it's marking Esther's preparation. Esther's preparation was concluded at the marker of that eclipse. Okay? We have other markers like the Star of Bethlehem beginning Esther's preparation. Esther actually had a year. So without going into all of the details and all the circumstances around this, we just know that this Esther was prepared. All right? And as I always say, I have lots of videos on this. I'll put links in the description field. We'll get more into that in other pieces. But now we come to the Exodus. All right, we come to Exodus, guys. There's a lot here, and I want to really simplify this. Okay, because what is the Torah? What is the story of the Exodus? How do we equate this to what happened then to the last days? Well, basically, the book of Exodus records year 1 of the Exodus. Okay, then the book of Numbers records year 2 up until the spies were at a place called Paran. And the children of Israel paced of Paran. The spies went out. You guys know the story. The spies went out and they came back, and 10 of them gave an evil report. We have Joshua, Caleb, right? All right. Well, then they wander in the wilderness. Okay, they wander in the wilderness another 38 years. Okay, so that is Numbers like 14 through to the end. Then the book of Joshua picks up again when it ends, and he goes into the promised land. Okay, now in the book of Exodus, in the first year of the Exodus, let's talk about the timing of the Exodus. Now, the things I'm going to present to you are going to be different than traditional views. Okay, so just bear with it. But there's a reason for it. Okay, that is important for us to understand. So we know in the story you've got Passover. So in the first year of the Exodus, you got Passover. The children of Israel left at Passover, right? And so Passover, they left what we now consider the Nile Delta. They traveled 3 days and 3 nights, And so the sacrificial lamb was slain, and he was in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, right? So they did that, and then they come to the Red Sea. You saw we were on Nueva Beach, right? We're there. Moses is standing there, and he's like, and that was like the baptism into the Red Sea, the resurrection of Christ, with these people. So we're doing the same thing in these last days, right? So then what happens is the book of Exodus kind of picks up at Sinai, Mount Sinai. okay? And you guys know I made an attempt to go to Mount Sinai and Saudi Arabia, and I got detained and deported and sent back here. But anyway, they would have come to Mount Sinai in the 3rd month and the 15th day. It says, I'll have notes of all these precise dates. Then they would have prepared themselves 3 days, and then the 18th day of the 3rd month is when the Lord came down on Mount Sinai. Okay? And what happens is we have some things transpire, and then Moses goes up into the mount 2 times. Okay, the first time he goes up into the mount, it begins here. It's the 26th day of the 3rd month, all right? And then he's up on the mountain. You guys know the story. He's up there 40 days, right? And he hears the sound of the children of Israel and the golden calf. So he comes down, he takes the tables of stone and breaks them, and then he goes back to the mountain another 40 days. So the first 40 days conclude with the golden calf in the 6th day of the 5th month, okay? Then he goes up to the mountain again, 40 days, all right? Now, this is the part I want you to understand. So I said all that. I told you about Esther. I told you about Moses. I told you about the first year of the Exodus, because when Moses comes down from the mountain interceding for the children of Israel, the second 40 days, it lines up perfectly with Esther. So in the 6th month, okay, the 6th month, this is the 6th month, and if we look at this as year 2017, all right, just prior to this, just a few days prior, we had the solar eclipse. Remember, we saw the solar eclipse, all right? Esther's preparation concludes the precise day, 15th day of the 6th month, okay? So that solar eclipse is marking this time, okay? And on top of that, what's marking this time is Moses' 40 days, his second 40 days on the mountain, okay? So these things are colliding perfectly. Timing, okay? The signs in the heavens, the story in the book of Esther, okay? So we can see that, right? Now, then we come to year 2, okay, of the Exodus. This is our confirmation right here, guys. These 40 days with the book of Esther. Then we come to year 2. Now, in year 2 is when you saw me go in the mountains of Ethiopia, blowing the trumpet. All right, let's just gather. It doesn't matter what we believe or whatever. Let's just gather around. Let's gather around the Leon. Let's gather around the throne. Let's get in position. The war is about to go down. The war is about to go down. Let's get in position. Let's get in our camps, right? So when we come to year 2 of the Exodus, the tabernacle is raised. Okay, the tabernacle is raised on the first day of the 1st month. All right. Then they come to a place. They come from Mount Sinai, and they go to a place called Paran. Okay, and that's when I have another video. I talk about this place, Paran. And the thing about this is this is another journey and another launching pad. Okay, so this place, Paran, I'm going to explain a little more about that in a second. But so they go from Sinai, they leave Sinai, the wilderness Sinai, they go to Paran, and then they send the spies. All right, now I'm not going to go into all the details of this. I'm going to link the other message. But basically, guys, what I want you to know is this. All right, the traditional view of the spies' report is the 9th of Av. All right, but that view assumes that the children of Israel are in one location for 30 days of quail. If you actually look up the details, it's not actually 30 days in one place. The children of Israel traveling along this place, and I was in some of these locations. The quail can be while they're moving. It's not necessary for them to be in one place, and that's the only place the quail can come. The quail are coming as they are moving, and then the children of Israel stay in this place of Paran, and the spies go out. So they're there, they're waiting in Paran those 40 days, and the spies go out. So what this does, the reason I'm pointing all this out, is this is going to push forward the spies' report coming back to the children of Israel. All right. So you knew I was going to Jabal El Oz, right? And I didn't make it. I got detained, and I was sent back to the States. Well, the precise day is just before the spies' report. So I'm thinking, I believe the evil report. I'm not entering the promised land. I was right there in Israel. I could have taken a bus from Jordan into Israel. But no, I'm back here, and what does this mean? Am I, I'm very distraught about this, and that's why I share this story. But I came back here, and I believe that this is also the promised land. I believe that there's promises here in this place that people have come and done an exodus, okay? And they've come here. And, we know this is a land of many nations. Lots of people came here. But God will always remember the memorial stone, the precise people, okay? And remember their prayers, okay? So, at this time, a lot of you guys will ask me questions. Okay, Leland, what does this mean, prophetic? I don't know it. I don't know everything, guys, because I don't know what report are we all doing? What do we all believe? It depends on the person, okay? But then what happens is after this period, God says, okay, you have complained to me these 10 times. That's enough. You're going to wander in the wilderness 40 years, okay? But they've already wandered 2 years, so they got 38 more years to wander in the wilderness. So, I'm going to give some more stuff, which is non-traditional views. But this is also quite interesting. All right. Now, what we're looking at here is from the book, The Exodus, which I definitely encourage you to get. This is Dr. Leonard Muller's book, and this is a map of that. And essentially what he did is he found an ancient map, and he found locations of the Exodus of the camps listed in Saudi Arabia. He found other locations of camps of Jewish names in Saudi Arabia. Okay? So, for example, one of the major incidents in the book of Numbers after the children of Israel wander is the story of Korah. You guys know the story of Korah. They revolted against Moses, right? They revolted against him, and Moses said, okay, whoever's on my side, stand here. Whoever is with Korah, and those on his side, stand here. And this place right here, this is in Mecca. Let me say that again. So the incident in the Bible of Korah revolting against Moses is Mecca and Medina. So the religion that's revolting against God is the same spirit that they built these Islamic cities on. And they gather and they do Hajj right over this event. Okay? So this is an example of things in the land, memorial things that are in the land that, people do. So anyway, not to go through all of this, but basically the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness in Saudi Arabia. Okay? So what this is a type, the woman who clothed with the sun, she wanders in the wilderness 1,260 days. Okay? So she wanders in the wilderness in Babylon, okay? And when she does, it's prophetically the children of Israel wandering in the wilderness of Saudi Arabia. Okay, you see that? So they're wandering in the wilderness, and that's the same story of the woman wandering in the wilderness 1,260 days. Okay? So, but this also, I gotta say this. So within this place, guys, there were children of Israel that stayed along this route. Not all of them decided to go. It's like, okay, we're all going to die here. So instead of dying and going to the promised land, we'll just stay here. So there's evidence of Jews all throughout this area, the children of Israel in this area, keeping this Hebraic language and the writing and everything, okay? But the story here is, again, they wandered. So this is what, I wonder if you can make sure that's plugged in for me, Jack. They wandered in, but they all had to wander, Joshua and Caleb had to wander as well. So they had to do this, and after this, we saw this before where they did a census, okay? So what happens is the people are gathered, and they're gathered in a census. And Moses numbers the people. Okay, these are the number of the people. They're all gathered, and then they wander 40 years, and they're gathered again. And so another census is done to count all the people and number them. All right. So this is the first one that happens, and it happens in a location. The first one is a location called Paran, and Paran, we believe to be in Jordan, and just a little north of that is Kadesh. Okay. So in Kadesh, they assemble again, they do another census, they send spies again. They send spies, they go to Edom, and they go to places, and they spy out the land again. Now they're about to enter the promised land, all right? So these are all things that are happening. We're being numbered. The people are being numbered, being counted. Who's ready? Who's ready for the Lamb when he comes? Who's in position, all right? And that's going to determine who is what. What are we going to do? Are we going to wander in the wilderness and, what's going to happen? I'm in these deserts, they're ominous places, but I'm actually going to physical locations to show you guys that, this is where I'm on these journeys. You guys can't all go. You got to stay where you're at. But I'm on these places to spy out the land, to go into these things. And once I'm there, I realize this. Okay, so we're being assembled right now. So what does it mean? Are we going to enter the promised land? That's what I'm endeavoring to do. But I'm here. So how is it that here, this is the promised land when it clearly says in Scripture that it's west of the Jordan? Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, guys. Let's just go back over the timing just real quick and talk about the timing of this year. The timing we do see in Revelation 7. We have the Lamb, his throne, he's coming, and we see the position, Revelation 7. Ijosan, 4 angels standing, we saw them before, 4 cherubim, holding back the 4 winds. So we saw the winds. Those are the wheels in Ezekiel's temple. So it's his throne. His throne is coming, okay? And we have year 1 of the Exodus lining up perfectly with Moses' first 40 days, okay? That lines up perfectly with Esther's preparation. Then we have year 2, and we've walked you through all of Numbers leading up to Numbers 14, when they don't believe the spies' report and they wander in the wilderness, okay? Then Numbers picks up later on at year 40, and they enter. So what do? Where do we go? Are we ready to enter the promised land? Are we going to wander in the wilderness? I don't know. But I'm telling you, we're in it, man. This is going on, okay? So guys, thanks for watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put links in the description field. I'll have all the other things that we talked about this before. And I'm going to have another piece on this, and we're going to talk about the United States being the promised land. So guys, God bless you, and thanks for watching.